Hello, everyone out there in Streamland. This is Dad's Turn to Talk. I am your moderator tonight, Joshua Adam Naparsik, and here with my two best buddies. And boy, do we have a show for you guys tonight. Want to start out a little somber. This week, as my friends know, is a little tough on me because Sunday is 13 years that my dad passed away. So always have a heavy heart during this time. But Dad, we love you, thinking about you. Rest in peace. Also some sad stuff with Star Wars last night, and we will talk about that, pretty soon. Let's first introduce my co-hosts. The first guy I've known for a very, very long time. Almost threw me into a swimming pool on his 18th birthday when everybody else basically threw him in, grabbed my leg, and pretty much had to put the boots to him. Bob, was it good? I think so. How are you doing today?
You want the truth or you want me to lie to you?
I want the truth tonight.
You know what? I'm doing good. I can't complain. Wouldn't do any good if I did complain. I was telling Derek, I was telling Josh earlier that I have people still on me about my review on Horizon, the new Kevin Costner movie, and I really don't understand why they're on me. I actually like the movie for the most part. I praised the movie for the first half of the review, but I said brutalness and instead of brutality, and he corrected me by saying that that's the correct word and the word that most seventh graders would know. I almost responded with, "Well, thank you for letting me know because I flunked out of sixth grade." So.
Yeah, and I was in your sixth grade class. That's funny.
That's right. I'm doing good, Josh. Looking forward to tonight.
Awesome. And my next co-host needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. Mr. Derek Tandro. Derrico, how are we doing tonight, my friend?
First of all, you put the boots to nobody. So knock that off now.
Oh, I did.
No.
He grabbed me. He was taking me with him.
Should have heard him. He was screaming.
Oh, jeez. Of course I was. That pool is cold. Your parents don't have a heater.
Well, when was this in El Paso? You probably want that pool cold.
Let's see. We were 18.
No, it would have been in October, so by then it was already cooler.
Yeah.
All right.
So, how are we doing, Derrico?
Okay. I've got my beverages intact here. I believe we're ready to proceed. I'm not looking forward to this first topic at all, but that's for different reasons entirely, which we'll get into here.
Oh, God.
So,
right.
On with it.
The only good thing is the finale's next week, so after that, we'll be done talking with it.
You didn't even need to watch any of that, though. None of it.
No.
You could have just stopped.
Like you did.
Yep.
Like you did.
But you know what? I think I've had more fun interacting with people about it because I hate it. I was telling somebody that I actually have more fun doing the reviews on stuff that I hate than on stuff that I like. Because when I like it, I want to praise it and say all the nice things about it and everything. Where with stuff that I don't like, I try to get more humorous and sarcastic. So I have more fun doing those reviews.
It's like being a heel in wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love being the bad guy.
Yeah, so for me, watching it, it's not because I'm wanting to torture myself. It's just because I'm doing the review on it.
Right, but you are torturing yourself. I mean,
but I have fun. But I have fun putting the review together. That's for sure.
So you have to go through the pain first, then you get to have fun. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
All right. So yes, let us get started. We are going to talk very briefly about probably the worst Star Wars episode.
I did like that, Derek.
The Acolyte episode 7. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's episode 7.
Was atrocious. Was an insult to Star Wars fans. Again, we thought episode 3 was going to be that, and it was. And now Leslie Headset. What's her name? I don't even know.
Headland. How
Headland,
can you not get that right, man?
I don't care.
You care plenty. Don't lie to me.
About people who are, good directors, good writers. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get this started. Derek, since you did not watch it, we'll just skip over you. Bob, tell us what you think. Was it good?
Huh? I don't know that.
That was good. You made Derek disappear. Derek's gone.
I'm here. Hold on.
That was perfect timing.
I think Derek, I missed that too.
Derek completely disappeared.
No, I saw it.
All right, go ahead, Bobo. What did you think?
Oh, wow. So first off, I mean, we were, this week was episode 7, but if we go back to last week with episode 6, we had the OnlyFans edition of Star Wars, where we got to see Smilo Ren and take a swim, and he got to show all of his glory to Osha, and then and that was a dumb episode. And then you fast forward to this week, and it was just Derek. Here's what was so bad about this week's episode is that it was a rehash of episode 3. Except we see it from the Jedi's perspective, but they confirmed to us that the Jedi turned around and killed all of the witches. But the way they kill all of the witches is stupid to beyond stupid.
Okay.
So essentially what happens is the Master Soul and the Padawan Torben, this is the guy who drank the poison, but when he was younger, he decides, or the two of them are going to go and try to save Osha because they think that Osha is in danger. And while they're there, the witches have basically barricaded themselves into this fortress that they got. And of course, everything gets heated. And one of the main witches, she turns around and turns into this like smoke demon. And all of a sudden, as she turns into the smoke demon, May, who's standing there, starts to disintegrate into smoke as well. And so Soul reacts to this, and he pulls out his lightsaber, and he thrusts it into the abdomen of a smoke demon. Now, notice I said smoke, and yet it still kills her.
Oh yeah,
lightsabers don't kill anybody at any other show, but it kills the smoke demon. And then what ends up happening is it's done this way to try to make you feel bad for the witches and like, oh my gosh, the Jedi were so horrible. They killed this lady with, for no reason at all. It looked like she was disintegrating the kid. I mean, how else was he supposed to react? And then the other witches, you see them all chanting like, and they take over the mind of the Wookiee. And so the Wookiee ends up fighting against Soul and Torben. And at that point, Carrie Ann Moss's character shows up, and she basically performs an exorcism on the Wookiee. And you see all the witches die as soon as she ends the mind control. All of them at the same time. and die. All of them together. And it's the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
It was bad, Derek. I mean, it was so bad that when I was looking at social media afterwards, people who were defending this show were saying how bad it was. I mean, they couldn't argue it. And then to close it all out, they've got this scene at the end where they replay the scene where, remember where the two sisters were on opposing platforms and one of them falls to her death. And well, it shows it from Soul's point of view, and he's holding both platforms through the Force, and it becomes too much for him. So he drops one of them, grabs the other one, and lets May fall to her death. And the question everybody has is, well, if he couldn't hold the platforms, why didn't you just grab the two girls through the Force and lift them up and hold them instead? I mean, it made no sense. And then I sent a clip to Josh before we got on, and it was the end credits of it. And they got some pop song during the end credits where they're showing where, typical Star Wars credits where it's in space and they've got the credits, but it's a pop song that's supposed to be the witches singing or something like that. It was so stupid. It was really bad. Like I said, even people who were defending it were saying how bad it was.
All right. For folks listening to this, I want you to back up to when Bob began to explain this. And I want you to just listen. Okay? Just listen to it. You don't have to watch anything. Just listen to what he said. Do you now see why I don't bother with this? Okay? That's all you have to know. So let's make sure I understand. You watched a poor man's exorcist / child abuse / some like weird cult thing /
Yes.
entertainment.
Yes.
Ugh. It was bad. Derek, we've talked about this before, that it's not just a bad Star Wars show. It is a bad show objectively in every way you can think of.
Horrible.
Badly acted, badly directed, badly written, badly edited, every which way. It's badly designed. They have okay. Remember we talked about there was $180 million budget with this thing? Well, at the beginning of the episode, you see the Jedi, they're taking samples of the soil because they are trying to understand why this planet has life growing on it, because apparently the planet was supposed to be lifeless. And you see the Wookiee out there with a metal detector. I kid you not, a metal detector. It wasn't like they redesigned it and made it fancy looking or anything like that. It was a plain old metal detector. I was like, did the funds from that 180 million dry up at this point?
Did you guys hear how much Revenge of the Sith made back in the day, or how much it was to make that movie?
Yeah, its budget with inflation is close to the Acolyte.
No, I thought it was like 110 or something.
Yeah, but with inflation, it would come out close. It'd be kind of equivalent to what this is. But that was a major blockbuster movie, and you look at how beautiful that looks, and you look at how trashy this looks. And just to put it in perspective, we talked House of the Dragon with Lily, a couple weeks ago. House of the Dragon has virtually the same budget as this, and the episodes are twice as long, and it's the same number of episodes, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you got to see this week's episode, but we finally got to see the dragons fight, Derek, and it was beautiful. It looked gorgeous.
It was intense.
Yeah, I've got it. I got it queued up. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
It was absolutely beautiful, and this is just garbage.
There you go.
Okay. I can understand why Bob does this. Josh, I don't.
I give up.
Okay?
Why?
Bob does this for his specific reasons for doing this.
Okay.
You have no reason.
None. I do. I'm on a podcast.
No. You could have stopped a while ago.
I'm on a podcast. I was forced by Bobby to watch it.
Oh, you're on a podcast? That's funny. What am I doing sitting here?
Okay, then I won't watch the finale.
Thank you. Enough.
Oh my God. The last night was just so bad. Last night I almost fell asleep, and then I almost turned it off and called Bob and said, I can't do this anymore. It's destroying me.
Let me ask this, though. They have to know how bad this is, right?
You would think that they would know, but I don't even know.
Or do they? Or maybe they know and they don't care. That's a possibility.
I don't think
that's what I'm thinking.
To be honest with you, I don't think they care.
Yeah.
I don't think they do either. To be honest with you, I think they're doubling down on putting messaging first ahead of good storytelling, and because of that, the show suffers. It's just bad.
But what messaging is there with this? This doesn't even sound like there's a message.
Their big thing that they wanted to push with this show, and they've done it from the opening marketing, is that they wanted to make a show that was very diverse. And that's what they pat themselves on the back for, is saying that it's a diverse show. And when they first announced it, or shouldn't say announced it, but when they talked about it for the first time over at Star Wars Celebration, they had all the cast out there, and they all kept saying, we are developing a diverse show. This show is going to be very diverse. And you had some of the actresses out there saying, finally, we're going to have a show that's female-centric, because Star Wars has always been very patriarchal. And it's just ridiculous, because when you lead with that tells me that there's a problem with your story. Because for me, if I'm creating something, you want to make it diverse, because obviously you want it to reflect your population. But when but it should come naturally. It shouldn't be at the expense of good storytelling. If it's got to reflect what your story is, and this doesn't even have a story. It's awful.
Let me explain something. Or go ahead, Derek.
I was just going to say, it's funny that they're talking about a diverse show. Star Wars at its core is diverse.
Yes.
How many alien species have you seen through that show?
Exactly.
I mean, how many times you have Ewoks and droids and Jabba the Hutt, and there's so much diversity already.
You know what's here's what's interesting, Derek, is that they want to do it in a way because they want everybody to be seen as equals and stuff like that. In George Lucas's Star Wars, he's flat out said there is no racism. There's none of that in Star Wars. The only ones that there was any of that segregation towards were droids. People didn't like droids. And there was a specific reason for that, because the droids were part of the villains in the Clone Wars. And so people looked at droids very negatively. So there was a reason for that. Like if you look at the original Star Wars, when they go into the cantina, there's a multitude of different creatures and species and races and genders and all sorts of stuff. And the only thing that the bartender says is when he sees 3PO and R2, he says, "Hey, we don't serve their kind here. They're droids. We don't want them here." And that's the only thing that mattered. But yet, for these people making this show, it's more important to pat themselves on the back and feel good about themselves as opposed to telling a good, coherent story. And that should always come first.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
Well, there was a show, Derek, Ahsoka. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ahsoka. Bobby's a fan of Ahsoka. Fantastic story arc. Starting from the Clone Wars animated series, going through Star Wars Rebels, which was animated, and into The Mandalorian, and then into her own show. Perfect. Loved her, thought she was a strong character, everything we've talked about on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of focusing on her, they take another woman, Sabine Wren, who was in Star Wars Rebels. No mention of her being a Jedi. She was a Mandalorian.
Right.
But they wanted to check a box off. And they had to put her in and say, oh, we have this other female and she's a Jedi. And they're going to focus all on her. And that's what pushes us away. It's the forced, establishment of, we have this character and we don't care if you like her, but we're going to push her. And if you don't like her, you're a racist. You're a feminist. And it's ridiculous because we love Princess Leia. We love Padme. We loved Ahsoka. I mean, it's like, what do you want?
Well, so it sounds like everybody's trying to, or not everybody, I'm sorry. Basically, the folks who created this are trying to say that, if you don't like this, then you have a problem with strong female characters.
That's exactly what they say, Derek. You know what's funny? What's funny is they say that the Rotten Tomatoes score, that's like 14% for the audience right now. For it, 14. That's lower than the holiday special that they did, back in the 70s or early 80s. But anyway, they try to say that the reason why that score's so low is because all the ists and phobes are out there review bombing this thing. Now, let me compare that to House of the Dragon.
Wow.
House of the Dragon is very female centric.
Sure
because
is.
Your two main characters are female.
Yeah.
And it is a diverse show.
And we love it.
And we love it. Nobody's out there review bombing it.
So there's that.
Yep.
We talked about some trailers not too long ago, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Who have I expressed as one of my favorite movie characters of all time? Ripley.
Yeah, from Alien. Yes.
She's one of my favorite too. I love Ripley.
She's timeless.
Yeah.
I believe that to be pretty strong female.
Yep.
There's also a wonderful movie called Kill Bill.
Oh, Uma Thurman. Yes.
The Bride.
Bob and I watched all those together.
Exactly. So don't tell me that we're not into strong female characters. I don't want to have that discussion.
I know, Bob, Uma Thurman. We've never thought about that with Kill Bill.
I've mentioned her. Maybe not as to you, but I've told other people she's one of my favorite characters. I love her. I love her character.
Yeah, the both of those were just fantastic.
The fight that she had when she was trying to get after Lucy Liu.
Yeah, the Crazy 88.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was it two of them or three of them?
There was only two. There was only two.
Okay,
both very different films.
Yes, very different.
Yeah, but fantastic. Oh,
all very good. I'm telling
you mentioned like you said, you mentioned Ripley, and she's one of my favorite characters. You also look at what's in the same movie in Aliens in the sequel, Vasquez. She's right. She's great.
Yeah, she is.
She's a great character too. You know,
you can't sit here and blame it on that.
Yeah, but they still do, and they use it as a shield to try to shield them from criticism because their show sucks. It sucks. There's no other way to put it.
So
and
when you say it sucks, they get butt hurt. And now we have this. Okay, all right.
No, I actually had. You know this, Derek. I actually had somebody call me a racist over on my over on one of my reviews for the Acolyte. So I thought that was hilarious. But
I'm just so
for the first time, I felt like I made it as a YouTuber because somebody went after me that way.
Yeah, somebody insulted me I told you. They said I was a robot.
I'm telling you that this is so okay. Well, first of all, folks, and don't forget to like. Now's a perfect time to mention this.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And you know what? Can I props who has left comments for us, because we've gotten nothing but nice things, and we greatly appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But boy, you can get out into a world there that is just it's bizarre more than I can't understand human emotion and the human psyche. I don't get it. There used to be a time where you could just say you didn't like something and then you moved on with your day.
Absolutely.
But now everybody has to have a feeling. Everybody has to have an opinion.
Correct.
Everybody feels like theirs is more important than the other person's, and everybody has to get it out.
And they don't understand, Derek. Star Wars to people is like almost a religion. And it's got all these books. I mean, I remember when we were young going into Barnes and Noble and seeing
the books were huge.
Shelves of Star Wars books.
Yeah.
And all we ask is just follow continuity. Be an expert on this.
But you know, Josh, the reason they got rid of all the books when Disney took over, they flat out got rid of them all, said none of that is continuity or canon anymore. They got rid of them all. And it was so they could pick and choose which ideas they wanted to use and remake it into what they wanted. So they're basically giving a watered down version of what was a superior product. I've heard another YouTuber use a much stronger word than watered down version of it. But basically that's what they do. They're giving us what they want and taking ideas or better ideas that other people already came up with, and
which is sad too, because you had the world in your oyster right there with all those books.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And you could be creative.
Yeah,
you could be creative. I asked Bob, if you were the director and the writer, what would you do? And he's like, I would put it way into the future, and Luke Skywalker would be in there, but I would create a new story. Great. Yeah. That's awesome. But don't go and do this whole storyline 100 years or 80 years before the Phantom Menace. And somebody said the other day, oh, well, the Sith, that was a cuss word. And we're like, what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Sith was a cuss word. It's like that's a bad word to use. You can't say, no, the Sith wanted to destroy the Jedi, and the Jedi did not know the Sith were around. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Derek, here's what exactly the article said. It said that the Sith was a derogatory term that the Jedi used to identify the Sith, and that it was a derogatory term, and the Sith really, that's not something that they called themselves. Palpatine referred to himself as a Sith all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
I love how they love how a made-up word all of a sudden became derogatory.
Yeah.
They're hiding. They're hiding their own mistake, is what it is.
Well,
Ridiculous. They
I
don't
mean,
know.
at some point, you can point the finger and blame everybody else all you want, but it's gonna hit your bottom line. It will. The fans will always win ultimately with this kind of stuff.
I'm glad that you just said that, Derek, because the Nielsen numbers finally came out for this thing. And this thing was 3 million views less than the previous Star Wars show, and it was barely above the Andor's premiere as far as the viewing numbers. And now I have to preface that because Andor, as much as Josh and I actually liked Andor, I can't deny the fact that it wasn't a show that drew a lot of numbers. Most people agree that it's a very good show, but because of the material, it wasn't, say, like Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ahsoka or something like that that's going to have all the Jedi and the stuff that draws people to it. So because of that, it was naturally going to have less numbers.
I think
and it was the lowest viewed Star Wars show. This thing, with the promise of lightsabers and Jedi and all of that stuff, it premiered just barely above Andor.
I think season 2 of Andor will be much bigger.
Well, I agree with you, but I'm curious to see what the final viewing numbers are going to be. I'm interested to see what the finale will have once the numbers come out for that. So just to see how many viewers this thing lost.
I mean, look at oh God, I really can't pronounce his name, but the director of Thor Ragnarok,
Taika Waititi.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know that he was in an interview with Natalie Portman, because obviously she was in Thor,
right?
Love and Thunder, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm directing a new Star Wars movie. Have you ever been in one? You should be in this one." And she looks at him and goes, "I was Luke Skywalker's mother."
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you
Have
kidding
you ever done
me?
one of those before? You'd be great.
Like, it's like, I'm telling you, how do these people
Like
get
he was
hired?
looking at her dead serious too, because that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, he asked Bob. He was literally serious.
Yeah, he was dead serious. It was like, "Oh yeah, you should be in Star Wars."
Could really
like,
see
I already
you
was.
She's like, oh yeah,
Such a vision for you.
Didn't Gwyneth Paltrow make that mistake though too? For she didn't realize she had been in one of the Spider-Man movies.
Yes,
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was a
Roy
show
Choi and Jon Favreau on a show, and
it was a chef show because
Yes,
Jon Favreau did the movie Chef,
yes,
and decided to bring some friends on and cook with them.
right.
And Gwyneth Paltrow was one of them, and they were talking about, I believe it was Tom Holland's first Spider-Man movie.
Yes,
and Jon Favreau goes,
yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, he goes, this kind of reminded me about what was the first one called?
Homecoming.
Homecoming, yeah. Reminds me of Spider-Man Homecoming. She goes, what? Spider-Man Homecoming. I was not in Spider-Man Homecoming. And the face he makes at her is, I wish I could have taken a picture of it. It was so good. He literally looks at her like what? Are you being serious? Like, do you need help?
God.
Then finally she came to and was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just made an ass of myself.
I mean, in all fairness, it was a very, very small part.
Yeah,
She had what? She was in it for like 2 minutes, but you would hope that you would remember.
No, she knew she messed up. Okay, she fessed up to it. So Gwyneth, we're not mad at you. Okay, wherever you are.
I don't know what the problem with, I don't know, with Star Wars shows right now and some of the others on Disney, and Bob has alluded to this on his own YouTube channel. Was it good? See, nice plug there.
Nice plug.
Was that the time frame of the show? Why is it they're doing 30-minute shows? There's not enough time. So like last night's show was like, you go back and you're retelling the story from episode 3. Bob made a great point on his latest video, and he said it should have been one long episode where you told the whole story there and you're done. What are they going to do next week when it's what, a 30-minute episode? I mean, I don't get why they're not making them 45 minutes to an hour. 45
Yeah.
obviously without.
That was my whole point about Fantastic Four, right? I wanted it to go to streaming because I didn't think you could tell the whole story in 2 to 3 hours in one shot. So make every episode 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
you got 8 episodes. You make that work.
Anything the fans want, they don't do. Anything we don't want, they would do an Ewok show, and every episode would be an hour and a half long.
Just imagine them in LA. Let's think about what everybody likes, and let's just
do the opposite.
So, before we get too far removed, I know, Derek, you really wanted to, school Josh here, and that he's got to pull this together. That reminds me, though, in all fairness to Josh, that I did find a bunch of memes on the internet, and I brought actually some of my favorite ones concerning the way Star Wars fans feel. So here, let me go ahead and share my screen here. 1 second. So here's the first one, and you can see how the fans are really feeling right now. So this was a meme that I really I thought represented the fan base, and how they feel.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I did find another one here, and this one.
Like, really, me and everyone?
Yes, you and everyone.
So that's how I know that's how I felt during that sequence with the that was terrible. Then, like I said last week, we got to see Smilo Ren take a swim, and we got this one.
God help me.
So while he takes his robe off and shows the fans the most ravishing body,
got the music.
Oh, geez.
What I want is for all you Andor a-holes sit down and watch me get my robe off.
Horrible. No wonder your parents think I look sick. Look at this.
But I got one more here, and this was with Master Torben taking the.
Yeah, I do need some of that. Wait a minute. So does he have gray hair? I mean, so he was fairly old in that one now?
Yeah, that's what he went from what he looked like as he's only supposed to be like 15, 16 years old, and in 16 years he went, from looking how he does to this.
Where'd he go to Tatooine?
I don't know.
With Obi-Wan? 2 sons?
Yeah.
God.
So
look at this. Here we go.
Apparently Josh wants some of that
in live action.
He wants some of that poison there.
Oh my God! Look at it. Do it again.
So anyway, those are some of my favorite memes that I found on the internet.
I really thought you were going to do regular memes. I'm kind of sad now.
Right. No, they were great, and you needed that.
Yes.
But
look, he's still making the face. Look at
it. I know. He's like, I can't believe you did that, and it was the same face you just made.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to talk about this wonderful, horrible, crappy show?
Now we'll hold off anything final to say next week when the finale hits, because I know the question is going to be, where does Star Wars go from there?
We might have a special guest too. Hopefully. We won't say who it is.
It's not going to matter.
We're still watching.
None of it's going to matter.
We're going to watch it. Derek.
You go have fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait till next week.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the second topic, Bobo.
All
right. So, gentlemen, this week we got.
Oh, I thought we were talking about something fun. Sorry.
We got the trailer for Agatha, the new Marvel show. As you know, Agatha debuted on oh my God, I'm trying to what was it? Vision and Scarlet Witch's show. WandaVision, yep. Which I actually liked. And Bob liked, and Derek, I think, liked. But once again, what do? We're gonna pick somebody that we don't know anything about, and let's do a show about her. So, are we going to watch, Bob, the trailer?
Yeah, I got it right here. So,
all right, let's watch the trailer first, and then we can chat.
All right.
If we make it through.
All right, you guys see it?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Another beautiful day.
Surprised to see you out here, Detective. Jane Doe. Found her down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force trauma.
What happened to you? I have a lead in the case, but can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
Is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell. Claw your way out.
I miss the glory days. She took every bit of power I had, but I can be that witch again. Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish. Join me.
What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven?
Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Sweetheart, you okay?
Oh my God! Whoa! What's she doing? Where's she going?
Oh,
Well-
can't wait.
Thank God we have a 2-episode premiere. Thank God. You know, I'm sure each episode's an hour long.
Look at Derek's face.
Derek is angry right now, folks. Derek is not happy. You know what? This is how bad it's going to be. We basically showed the whole series in that trailer.
Oh, wow.
Realize that, right? That's
Okay, I gotta say this.
Doesn't
I
make
thought,
whether you show it all or not.
the first maybe 20, 25 seconds looked like it might be kind of cool.
See, I was of the same impression. I'm like, okay, we got a psychological thriller feel here. That's kind of fun. What are we getting into?
I like
And
it.
then the rest of it hit.
I think it's great. I think it's
Who thinks it's great?
I think it's fantastic. I mean,
You know what? Here's the thing. The first 20 seconds, if they had gone and turned that into something that could have very easily been something interesting, if they had just rolled with that. And
Correct.
I like Catherine Hahn. She's
do too.
hysterical. She's she's really funny. Great actress.
Yeah.
Um,
And I liked her in WandaVision when we first see her.
Yeah,
Not
she's not.
now.
No, she's a character that when she first came out, I'll admit, I thought she was fine. I had no issues with her.
No.
She was kind of fun.
yeah.
The problem was, she's a character that's good as like a secondary character, not as a
Yeah.
lead. And
no.
where exactly are they going to go with this? Because looking at this trailer, it doesn't look like that they're taking this character anywhere.
No.
And oh gosh, and
you can't take the one-off characters and think you can just turn into a whole new world. It doesn't work that way.
Derek, I know where we've talked about this for years about how you're the expert, like with Iron Man and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, do you know anything about her? Because I don't.
So she definitely does. She is like one of the arch villains of the Scarlet Witch. So they did get that right.
Okay.
To their credit, they did get that right. That's about it. There's really no other reason to even get into her. She looks like an evil Aunt May in the comic.
She does, really.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like,
Can anything be done with like Avengers Secret Wars or anything with her? Is she that powerful that she could cause any damage?
she is powerful, but the problem is the Scarlet Witch is more powerful. and they just kind of went off, and they tied the Scarlet Witch more to like the Avengers and then the X-Men, and
Right.
There's a lot more to her story just as the Scarlet Witch rather than her fighting Agatha. Agatha was like kind of a thing they did for a few editions, and then it was done.
Okay. Bob, what
it.
do you know about Agatha? Anything? Was when you saw her in the other show, did you know about her or not really?
Huh? I don't know that.
You know what? I didn't know anything about her.
No.
Like I said, I was fine with her in WandaVision. Like I said, the actress did a good job. I enjoyed her. I just don't see this going anywhere. And then, you look at the trailer, there's several spots where it looks like it could get serious, and then all of a sudden they crack a joke. Like where you see the character bending over backwards and walking around like she's
weird.
possessed by a demon or something like that. And all of a sudden they're cracking jokes. As it's happening. And it takes away any of the seriousness from it. If this was done right, maybe this could actually be kind of good. Like I said, it looked like it might, like the way it started, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with this. The only thing I'm going to give this is that it's coming out on Halloween or around Halloween season. So that's the best time to release that. So I will give them that. But beyond that, beyond roasting this thing, I don't see much for it. Now, I will be the first to admit, and Josh will know this, or he knows this, I am fair. If I am wrong, I will always be the first to admit. I thought Superman and Lois was going to be a train wreck, and I really like that. I really like that show. I really do. What sold me was the second trailer, because I had told Josh, I was like, gosh, this is the same Superman from Supergirl that's been on the CW. This is going to be awful. And the first trailer didn't do anything for me, but the second one, I was like, okay, maybe they'll get this right. And then the pilot hit, and I was like, okay, they completely removed the CW-ishness from this show. And so, yeah, so I liked that. This thing right now, based on this trailer, looks like this is going to be a wreck. Yeah. But again, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, you and Derek can watch. Enjoy it, boys.
Well, I guess because here, like I said, I really like that actress, so I don't want to. I just don't.
We're watching the premiere. Josh, quit acting like you're not going to watch the premiere with us. We're going to watch the premiere, and if it turns out to be a train wreck, then we don't have to talk about it anymore. I mean, I don't exactly think that Agatha is going to be a massive hit. I just don't see this happening. But like I said, maybe I'm wrong, because again, people did like the character. But I think this, what I think this is I think this was something that they had brought out before, or not brought out, but they'd already come up with the idea and everything before they decided to cut down the number of shows and movies and try to concentrate more on quality as opposed to quantity. And I say quality because the same writers are still there. But yeah, I don't see this really going anywhere. But again, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it, and I'll give it a good review if it's good.
Fair enough. Yeah,
what else do we have coming up real quick in Marvel? Is this it?
Well, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's the only thing this year besides Agatha.
So it's just those two.
Next year, I think we've got, what is it next year? You got Captain America without Captain America. You've got
all the Hulk's enemies without the Hulk. Yes,
great. We've got.
I cannot wait to watch Josh get so mad about how they're going to trash that.
Yeah.
Isn't Ironheart coming out next year with that?
Oh, thank God. Really? Oh, I can't wait.
Hold on. I got to look it up because I got to see what's coming out.
I will be in the theaters the first day that opens.
The root cause also with the issues here for Agatha is that it's the same issue that Bob brought up about Madam Web. Now, Madam Web had a bunch of issues, but at its core, it's the fact that they took a minor character and tried to make it major.
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. After Agatha, we've got the Daredevil Born Again series, which I like that they brought back the cast, and they're trying to, from my understanding, fit it in with what came before. So that should be good. Hopefully, and you still need to check out Daredevil, Josh.
Watch that, Josh.
That's good.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay. Ironheart is supposed to come out in 2025. The Captain America movie without Captain America.
Falcon America.
You got Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four.
All next year?
Yeah, supposedly Blade is supposed to come out next year, but I don't know, because every time I turn around, there's something going wrong with that one.
Which one?
With Blade. For some reason, they can't get it right, and I don't understand how you can't get it right. This is very simple.
Yeah, this isn't
vampire.
hard.
You got a vampire hunter played by an actor who's really good, and Marshala Ali.
Okay.
You know him if you saw him.
Yeah,
Josh.
he's fantastic. So you got a vampire killer. You turn around and have him killing a bunch of vampires,
Right.
and you don't try to make it this grand thing that's saving the universe or anything. Keep it down to earth as far as Blade killing vampires. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
That's why the original Blade worked so well.
The original, I mean, those two Blade movies, 1 and 2, are just tremendous.
Yeah.
Still hold up to this day.
And Wesley Snipes is great in those.
Sure is.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of Mahershala Ali as Blade. That works.
Yes, that's great casting. How can they not get it right?
I'm looking at him.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Know him.
Yeah. You know, they can't get Masters of the Universe right. 20 years, 30 years, they still can't figure out how to.
Blade's even was much
Way
more
easier
simpler
than that.
and you know what it is? They turned around, or one of the problems they had recently was they had leaked what the ideas of the early scripts were, and it was supposed to be centered around all these other characters, and Blade was just a secondary character or a third character in his own show. And that's what the problem is, and that's what Marvel keeps trying to do. They take the main character and they turn around and they push them off to the side so they can push the characters they really want to push, and they use really that character's name only to push whichever ones it is they want.
Derek said something just a few minutes ago. Now I can't remember what it was that I thought was the perfect statement. Do you remember? It was about, God, what did you say?
I say so much stuff that's right, Josh. You're going to have to remind me.
It was the only thing you said that was right. I don't know what it was. Good God. It was something.
Well, then you need to start paying attention and taking notes.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Star Wars would do a show about the Porgs, because that's what they would think that people would want.
Oh, you're talking about when I said that you take a minor character and try to make it major.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That's the most perfect statement, because it's true. That's all they care about is they were like, oh, look at this character. We want to make him as the major character. Watch. The person who's in Agatha, the guy who was like yelling, the guy, they'll make him into a movie next.
Well, that's half the issue here too, is the fact that because they keep throwing out all this content, you're going to start running out of people. Like the well's going to dry up. You can't just keep thinking you can go back to stuff either and rehash it.
You know, at some point they are going to have to reboot, and I know you hate to hear this, Josh, but you're going to have to recast.
You are.
These characters are bigger than any specific actor. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. was amazing as Iron Man, but that doesn't mean we can't recast another actor to play the role. Doesn't mean the new actor is going to be as good, but the role is bigger than the actor.
I think Ralph Macchio should play the new Iron Man.
You think Ralph Macchio should play plenty of things that don't make sense, Josh. The fact that you said that just made us lose subscribers.
Shut up!
Thank you for that.
Darn it. I was trying to go 1 week without it.
No, you don't get that.
I need to corrupt that file. All right. So anything else about this trailer? Or are we done?
I don't think so.
if you're looking for something fun, go check out the AI Marvel superheroes that I believe it's pretty easy to find out there with all the.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
What
Yeah,
are you
it's
talking
fun.
about? What is it?
So they redid this thing on AI where if we're talking about recasting, they've pretty much done it. So
Okay.
it's
You've
basically
seen it, Josh.
you've seen it before. I think Bob sent it to us, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
the one about like from like the 80s and the 90s. And
Yeah.
that one? Yeah.
Bringing it all together. Like I think Johnny Depp was Doctor Strange.
Yes. Tom Cruise was Iron Man.
I think that might have. Yeah, I think that was right.
But they've done it for DC. They've done it for Marvel.
Yes.
And then the whoever makes these trailers turns around and does the different decades. And so it's different actors, of course. Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun for what it is.
Yeah, and that's more entertaining than the other. And it's cool. See, you know what's cool is that for years we had fan castings for some of these characters. Especially in the 90s. As to who we thought should play some of these characters. So it was cool seeing some of those in those roles because those were people that, we all wanted to see back then, like David Duchovny as
that was, there were some
Banner.
ones in there where there were some ones on there where I just thought it was perfect.
David Duchovny as Bruce Banner. I can't.
No, I'm just saying that was a fan casting. That was what a lot of people were asking for back there in the 90s because you got to remember that was when the X-Files was really big.
Yeah.
Everybody was, and that's a great show too. I love the X-Files.
Yeah, X-Files is great.
Yeah, I just wish like that new Captain America and you have like Red Hulk in it, but yet you're not going to have Green Hulk in it and you're going to have the leader in it. I mean, it
doesn't even have Captain America in it.
No. No. It's got Falcon.
And the thing is I like the Falcon. The only reason I tease on that is because I wasn't crazy about Sam Wilson's run as Captain America.
Yeah. You know what? It's sad because the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was actually a pretty good show for a while.
Yeah.
That had a really good run.
There were a couple things that were, Bobby hated.
Yeah, there was parts where it got too heavy-handed in the messaging.
No,
but that was the show, and Josh will tell you, that was actually the show I was looking forward to the most with the MCU because I think Anthony Mackie and what's his name? Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the two of them have great chemistry together.
They do.
And I loved their interactions, and I love both characters. And both characters got to play or got to be Captain America in the comics. I just have always been a fan more of when it comes to the Winter Soldier's run as Captain America. And the reason is because I felt it was a redemption for his character.
Yeah,
with everything that he did to now all of a sudden he's in the role of Captain America. And because he was Captain America's sidekick, back when he first appeared during World War II. So I thought that was kind of him stepping into that mantle was like the natural progression for that character. The Falcon, on the other hand, I've just always liked him better as the Falcon. Now, he's a good character. I love Sam Wilson's character. Yeah, and Anthony Mackie plays him great.
Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah, he does.
He's to be fair to the Captain America movies, I never liked Captain America growing up. So like too goody two shoes. Like, no, you're not for me. But those movies, whew, well done, man.
By the way,
Eric, have you ever seen the Honest trailers?
No.
Okay, so they have this thing called Honest trailers where they'll show like clips and stuff, and they put together a trailer, and then you got a voice dubbing everything over, saying what's really going on and stuff like that. Well, when it got to the Winter Soldier, they were like, check out the movie that made everybody say, whoa, who knew Captain America was so cool? And then right when it gets to the end of the trailer, it pops up with the logo Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and the guy who's doing the voiceover says Captain America, and then it pops up, he's cool now.
That's perfect. Nailed it.
And that's why I bring it up, because nobody really thought of Cap as a great as this character that was like amazing. Like even Like I liked Captain America: The First Avenger, but
Me
if
too.
you look at him, in the first Avengers movie, he was kind of lame compared to some of the other characters. But the Winter Soldier, I thought, really redeemed that to where he became, the second
Real
face
superhero
of the MCU.
Yeah. There was but just watching the first one, I just love the creativity they put behind it. Kate was watching this, and my wife doesn't like any of this stuff. And she caught me watching it one day, and she got hooked. She's like, this is pretty fun.
Yeah,
And
it is.
get her to like a Marvel movie? Well done.
Yeah.
Let me
Well
tell
done.
you, there's a show I keep telling Bobby about, Derek, on Vice called Icons Unearthed. And
Okay.
they cover so many things. In fact, tonight just started a new season, Bob, if you want to catch it, Spider-Man.
Okay.
And they talk about everything, the history, but then they talk about filming the first couple of movies. So they did it with Marvel. And I'm still kind of going through it. I kind of caught the last couple of episodes, but they talked about Captain America, and they talked about Chris Evans, who did not want to do it because, he had been the Human Torch. And he was like very nervous about like being another superhero and didn't want to be typecasted and all that stuff. But it turned out so well. And here's a little bit of trivia. Avengers 2012, originally Loki wasn't the villain. Guess who was? The Red Skull.
Really?
And what's his who play Viggo Mortensen?
Hugo Weaving was
Hugo
Weaving.
Weaving wanted too much money.
Oh.
He said no. And then they started looking back at the comic books and were like, oh my God, Loki was the Avengers' first opponent, villain. So it ended up working very well for them. But it was interesting because I don't know if you guys knew this. Thor was filming and Captain America was filming. And as that was finishing up, they were already filming the Avengers.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot riding on it. Like they were like, if Captain America isn't good, we're screwed. If Thor isn't good, we're screwed. But they ended up doing. But it's
the beginning of the MCU took a lot of risks, and it paid off. It just stinks that Phase 4, was so rough, and Phase 5 hasn't exactly been off to a great start. Part of the issue is, and I've mentioned this to Josh, that if they wanted to introduce some new characters, that's fine. I've got no issues with that. But you got to go back to the style that got you there, because you're introducing a bunch of brand new characters. Phase 4 should have been more along the lines of what Phase 1 was. You have the solo movies and stuff like that of some of these characters kind of leading in the direction that you're going to go for the next phase. But instead, I don't know. It was a big misfire. They had an opportunity to do it right. They would have had to build the characters all over, especially because there was a whole new group of characters.
If they had probably come out with a real rockin' streaming show, like a real good one for Phase 4, there may not be as much of this as we're talking about. I mean, I know they made so many stinkers, but if you at least have one good one in there, you kind of have some faith. Like, they can get back to it, can't they? But I mean, it's too far gone now. We're too down a hole.
And it's funny that you mentioned that they've had so many stinkers. If they had just had one good one, can you really think of one Marvel show that really just blew you away? No. I mean, I liked Hawkeye, but
I liked it, but I didn't think it was.
There you go,
masterpiece. Right
there you go. I liked it. There you go.
I think
that was cool. Fun.
I think you need to do something with Dr. Doom. And because
you said this a million times, I don't think that's going to help anything.
Because we grew up with Dr. Doom, and he was a villain in a lot of the shows. And why not have a true Dr. Doom? We've had Dr. Doom before, but not like what we grew up with.
Because if you can't have the good writing behind it, it's not going to matter if it's Dr. Doom or not.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is in terms of Marvel. If it's the reboot, if it's I mean, I've said to have Captain America and have him deliver the stones. Do a series on that.
There could be that one. Marvel needs to take a break. Marvel needs to put the brakes on for a little
Or
bit.
is it bad writing? Do you need a break?
If they took a break, I'm saying if they took a break, maybe they'd figure that out. Maybe they'd get some realizations.
I mean, I'm still upset that we didn't get the oh my god, I almost said Mandalorian, the Mandarin, the way Derek.
We did.
No, the true one.
Shang-Chi technically was supposed to be that.
That was the real Mandalorian. Shang-Chi's dad in there was not Mandalorian, and that was the Mandarin.
They are almost identical, aren't they?
Oh
There's
my
only a
god.
few letters that separate them. That was supposed to be the Mandarin. He does. Those are the rings. That's it.
That was supposed to be the Mandarin.
You know what's funny? Iron Man 3 was on the other day, and I was watching part of it. And just that whole part when Trevor comes, I turned it off. I had watched it all the way to there, and I can't do it.
Thanks, Ben Kingsley. Not really.
Can't do it. So, all right. We better get on to our final topic of the night. As you know, this past Saturday, it's so weird that they're all on Saturday now. WWE had their Money in the Bank from Toronto, that premium live event. Interesting pay-per-view. I didn't, catch all of it, but obviously know what happened. Let's go ahead and start with you, Derico. What did you think? Were you surprised by the winners of Money in the Bank? Give us your opinions.
Oh, gosh. This, to me, was not good. Not good.
Interesting.
I think that... No, Josh, don't get all happy. I don't want you to think now that AEW is just rocks, okay?
What did I say? I said, interesting. How was that me being...
Shut up!
You just ruined it, Bob. I did a little dancing. You ruined it.
Why do you think I threw it up there?
You ruined it. You ruined everything, Bob. I am so sick of that. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm watching you.
Keep watching. Just you wait.
What's funny is if I said, you know what, Derek needs to control the computer now, we would be getting that thing over and over and over.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't stop. Bob's nice.
He'd be throwing it on you more than I do.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
All right. I think what may have happened with WWE is maybe we had a little PLE fatigue. From May through June, we've had 4 premium live events. Now, granted, they've only had about 5 matches on each of them, so it's not like they've been ultra stacked. But this one kind of felt like they were spinning wheels just to get to SummerSlam.
Okay.
The first match, which was the men's Money in the Bank, right? That was the first match.
Yeah, that was the first match.
Debacle. Not good. You, in essence, wasted one of the biggest stories or angles that you can have for a year up to it, a long time, and you gave it to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Why would you do that?
Wow. Okay.
So why didn't they? And if you are going to do that, having Drew cash in, then Punk interfering doesn't make any sense. Why didn't Punk just get him in the ladder match? Isn't that weird? Like, really, that should happen?
Bob,
he has a point. We were talking about it. That's interesting.
I'll give you my thoughts in a minute because
all right.
I have a few different thoughts on that. I see where you're going with it, Derek. Yeah. I just got a few thoughts on that because I'm not saying I disagree with you. Just got a few ideas and thoughts.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I'll try to be fast here.
No, you're good.
Okay, so that part was not good, and then what happened in the world title match when he tried to cash in was also not good, because now we're out a contract. That's it. Can't get it back now. So they didn't need that log on that fire. The feud between CM Punk and Drew was already hot enough. It didn't need to go down that way. The problem, though, is that when you're watching it, you're thinking to yourself, well, if it's not Drew, who do you want it to be? And I took a look at the 5 other guys in the ring, and I'm like, none of them should be holding this.
Not even Jey Uso?
Jey Uso is a great hot baby face right now, but he's not a singles wrestler. When you watch him, he doesn't wrestle like a singles wrestler. He wrestles like he's still in tags. Big punches, big kicks, and that's about the end of it. You can't really become a world champion material when you just do that. I know he's over like Rover. He managed to get that done. Well played, Jay.
Yeah.
But then you look Andrade? Huh? Carmelo, who lost his first main roster match to Cody Rhodes, got pinned right in the ring. So nothing really big there. Chad Gable, I'm sorry, Josh, he's still not world champion material. Maybe IC now because he made that heel turn. You can take him legit, but he's not at world title level yet. And there's another point I'm going to bring up with all this that will relate back to him. And then who are the other two? We talked about Jay, and then LA Knight's going to face Logan Paul. He's going for the U.S. title. So there's no reason where he should walk away with a briefcase, which leads me to point number 3 about that. Well, there was no interference. This match lent itself to interference. I don't like a lot of it. I'm sure most people know. But why didn't you have some? Chad Gable's got enemies all around right now. Otis, the Wyatt Six, he could have been easily covered in terms of carrying those stories on. Logan Paul can interfere with LA Knight, and then CM Punk comes in and gives the final bash to Drew. There was a bunch of stuff that could have happened there. None of it did.
Okay.
So then that gets us to Braun Breaker losing to Sami Zayn. I thought that was real bad. I think that everything they've done with Braun has not been good at all ever since he's gotten into the main roster. I'm a huge fan of him, but dear Lord. After that, we get maybe one of the biggest botches I've ever seen in my life. So, gentlemen, what's the rule? No, like some pro wrestling 101 here. When you're supposed to kick out before 3, what do?
Kick out?
You kick out. That didn't happen, and then the contract pushed out the toilet after that.
What happened though with
Screwed up. He screwed up. That's it.
Is that what they said? They basically.
Well, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out exactly what happened there. He was supposed to kick out, he didn't, and the ref just didn't hit it.
I mean, how do you go about now? And for some reason, Derek, you're going to laugh. I keep calling him Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, well, that's his name before he.
I know.
Damian Priest.
I can't think of his. Yeah, Damian Priest.
Yeah.
How do you walk around with the title? You were pinned.
Well, okay, so hold on. Let's continue. So the only thing that really did save this there were a couple of things that did. One, that women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I have to give it to them. They were the one thing that you watched during all this where they threw caution to the wind. I know Bob was rooting for Chelsea Green. I would have liked to have seen that too.
Me too.
But I was realistic and thinking, I think it's Tiffany. What I did not expect was she took the bump of the night. Yep, exactly. Chelsea Green. They deserve a serious round of applause for being the daredevils they were in that.
Absolutely.
And then the last match of the night, I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, this is a main event of SmackDown. This isn't a main event of a pay-per-view. PLE. So I don't think SummerSlam is going to be bad at all. But boy, those are all my thoughts. I'm done now.
What about Cena retiring?
Forgot to mention that. That was the other thing that kind of was fun. That did give this pay-per-view points. First of all, Trish Stratus on MITB is always welcome. Thank you, Trish. Since Becky didn't say it.
Yes.
And John Cena with the After This You Can't See Me with. He's going to have like 4 shirts just on his farewell tour. That's going to be tremendous.
I mean, Becky Lynch wasn't on there, right?
No, but I said thank you, Trish, when Becky didn't say that.
Yeah, okay. No, Cena being next year is going to be interesting. I wonder if he breaks the record.
I think he does.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm. You want to know who I think he faces in Mania?
Let me guess.
Who?
Faces at Mania.
Cody?
No.
Not there.
No, I'm trying to think. Derek. Okay, I got it. Orton. No?
You're not thinking Roman, are you?
Nope.
No, not Roman.
He faces the Ring General for the world title.
Interesting. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
So I was telling Bob this. I don't know if I texted this to you, Josh. I don't think I did, but I was reading some crazy statistic where they said at next year's Rumble, you could have John Cena, Seth. Hold on.
You did send it to me. No, you sent it.
I sent it to both of you. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was on the thread.
Yeah.
Randy
John
Orton,
Cena,
John
Randy
Cena,
Orton,
Seth
Seth
Rollins.
Rollins, Roman Reigns. Who was the other?
Hold on.
Yeah, I
You
can't remember.
said Rollins, Reigns, Cena, The Rock,
Yes,
Orton,
which is already enough.
Yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
That is insane. Yeah, Rock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Randy Orton, and CM Punk.
CM Punk, he was
There
the
you go.
last one.
all
So
in
I
the
think
Rumble.
John Cena. Yeah, I think Cena wins the Rumble, and I think he challenges Gunther for the world title.
How many?
Gunther's the perfect opponent for him.
That could be. Yeah. That you're right. I'm thinking of the whole like Germany versus USA. And
Give me Rocky IV one more time.
So you're thinking he wins and goes on like a small title run, even if it's only a month or 2 months.
Yep. Doesn't need to be long. One last run.
I'm down with that.
I didn't get your thoughts on Money in the Bank, gentlemen, so feel free.
Can I say one thing? What if Cena? I heard this about, was it Taker that they tried to do it with? What if Cena's last match is for the title, he wins the title, and then retires?
I actually think that the SummerSlam match next year, which would be fun, would be champion versus champion and him versus Cody.
And you unite the title.
And then you wouldn't have any, you wouldn't unify the belts. You just have champion versus champion. But Cena would lose, and then he just gives it up. He says, it's yours now. I lost.
Interesting. All right,
And
Bob. What did you like about the pay-per-view?
So I kind of agree with Derek in that the pay-per-view wasn't one of their better ones, put it that way. As far as the men's Money in the Bank, you're right. Who do you put that, or who do you give the briefcase to? Because Jay, as much as I would have loved to see Jay get it, you bring up a good point. He's wrestles like a tag team wrestler, but I think it goes even further than that. I think he's going to be used in the Bloodline story. Or storyline, because I think Roman's going to come back, and I think that's where you're going to see Jimmy and Jay, and I think even Sami Zayn could get involved in that with the current Bloodline. So I think that would be good. So I think that's where that's going. Then LA Knight, like you said, is going to face Logan Paul, so that kind of takes that away from him. The others, Chad Gable, he's about to get knocked off by the Wyatt Six, so we'll be lucky if he survives. And then you've got the other characters, or the other wrestlers. Who was it? Andrade and Carmelo. No. So Drew was the only one left, and I told Josh this afterwards. I said I figured as soon as they made the Money in the Bank match, the first match, that Drew was winning.
Yeah,
because he said he was going to cash in that night. Mm-hmm. And I knew at that point that they were going to have Punk cost him the title. Now, here's why I think they did it. Now, I think that Priest is going to lose to Gunther, and they wanted Gunther to have a title run, and in your case, going up to WrestleMania. So they wanted him to have a title run and not have to worry about the men's cashing in, because let's face it, the whoever would have won the men's is not going to cash in against Cody Rhodes.
No,
it was going to be against or whoever had the world heavyweight title. So it was going to be there. And if they had planned on Gunther going on a run here, that would explain why they went ahead and just took the Money in the briefcase out of, or the Money in the Bank briefcase out of the picture. So I think that's why they did it. Plus, they threw that log on the fire. I agree with you. They didn't need to. It was already a hot feud. But I think that's why they did it, because in this case, they wanted Gunther was already going to reign. Whoever was going to cash in against Gunther was probably going to lose, because I think they want Gunther to have a little bit of a run. And I think you're right. There could be a possibility of him going up against Cena at WrestleMania. That could work. So that's what I thought about that match. The match itself wasn't great, but I think that's why they gave Drew the briefcase. And then fast forward, of course, to the championship match later, why he cashed in the way that he did, and it played out the way they did.
Yeah.
Plus, I do think it'd be kind of cool to have a triple threat match between Punk, Drew, and Rollins. That could be a fun match right there for SummerSlam. So I think that's what they were setting up. The Intercontinental title match, I was fine with it. But I agree with you, Braun Breaker. I think they've kind of missed an opportunity. I do think that he's going to get another shot at SummerSlam. I think he's going to win that one. The women's Money in the Bank was the best match of the night. Chelsea Green going off that ladder was hilarious. And what I like is that her big thing wasn't even getting the briefcase. It was conquering her fear of heights. And, I love the, see, because she didn't want to climb the ladder. So you see her jumping, trying to briefcase because she didn't want to climb the ladder.
She got the ladder and she tried to knock the briefcase off.
She's great. She's perfect as far as the way she plays this character.
She's tremendous.
And I loved her press conference afterwards.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Josh? Her press
No,
conference?
I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, so she shows up and she's like, I did it. I was finally able to do it. I don't even know if God only knows if I'm going to be able to walk again. Of course, she walks into the press conference. And all of a sudden, Pierce comes in and he's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm having a press conference. He's like, with who? She's with all these people. And Pierce looks over and the room's empty.
He goes, we've been out the air for like 2 hours.
So yeah, she's great.
She's good.
I thought Io Sky did a fantastic job in that match.
What was that? It was a pile driver on what's her name through the ladder, or
something like that.
What's her name?
Zoe Stark, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like a blockbuster she did. It was nuts.
Insane.
Yeah, so I loved that. The women they hit a home run. They did a great job.
Great job.
And as far as the main event, I understand why it played out the way that they did it, or the way that it did, because they wanted Solo to pin Cody so they could set up the match for SummerSlam.
Sure. Yes.
But the thing is, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that Cody does not lose to Solo at SummerSlam. So how do they play that out? And we're assuming Roman might show up at SummerSlam. That this is his reveal. Yes, absolutely.
Put it up.
That this is when he comes back. So how does he fit into that picture? Because I'm assuming he'll show up in or during the match and maybe interfere or something to.
I actually think it's going to go a little bit differently.
I
think Cody's going to pin him. 1, 2, 3. That's when Roman's going to come out. He's going to get in the ring and he's going to do what Solo did and look right at him with no mic. He doesn't need that. And he's going to say, losing has consequences, right? And he's going to throw it back in Solo's face.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see how that's going to play out.
I don't think so.
Roman's going to get an absolutely huge pop when he comes back.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it happens with Cody almost going to lose the belt or something, and then Roman's music hits.
I could see a scenario where Cody wins the match, but then he gets jumped by the Bloodline.
Yeah, that could be it too.
And Roman comes in at that point, and it looks like maybe he'll help the Bloodline in attacking Cody, but instead he spears the Bloodline members. I'm not saying he'll like shake Cody's hand or anything, but you just see him kind of look at Cody and just kind of nod at him and then kind of walk off.
I mean, that happened with Sami Zayn and Roman. Remember, what was it, the Rumble, when Sami turned on Roman and he got that pop?
Yeah, that was
when he
a
hit
that
him
was a
with the ref?
rumble. Hmm.
And so it could happen. Okay. I did not see much of the pay-per-view, but obviously what you guys said, men's Money in the Bank, I thought it was going to be Jey Uso. Like Derek
A lot
said
of
at
people
the
did.
beginning, we all thought like he was so over. And Bob, you said it too. I thought, okay, they're going to give him the briefcase. But actually, to be fair, right before the pay-per-view, Bob said, I bet that McIntyre wins and cashes in.
Yeah, I
And
changed my pick because my first
and
pick was Jay.
right.
And then I was like, no, because there was things that were said that Hunter kind of hinted at. And I was like, oh, this is what they're going to do. And then when they made the Money in the Bank match, the first one, that kind of confirmed it to me.
Yeah, it became painfully obvious.
Yeah.
Right. Derek mentioned about Chad Gable, my boy. I'm not happy with the storyline with the Wyatt Six because why are they just picking on him? They should be attacking everybody.
Well,
Well,
you
that's
have to
the
give
point.
that.
We don't
you have
know
to
yet.
give that time.
Yeah, but the fact that they're just focused on Gable.
You know, I will say this: the way they're doing those Bo Dallas interviews,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand it to them because I was nervous about this. Like, look, the last time we did this, it didn't exactly go over well.
Right.
They've got me intrigued on this one. They did a bang up job so far.
It'll be interesting. But it's funny because I do in a way agree with you, Derek, about the whole CM Punk and McIntyre thing that they probably didn't have to. Just listening to both of you guys, honestly, if anyone would have won besides Jey Uso, they should have maybe had Breaker in there and win it.
That probably could have worked.
Because you could have built him up for the year. You know what I mean?
And he probably could have been the guy to take the title off Cena.
Yeah, could have been something like that. So, yeah, not sure. Saw parts of the Rollins, Damian Priest match, and yeah, just can't believe that ending. Can't believe how he, everyone was like blowing up. They're like the biggest botch in the world. It's like,
yeah, it was straight
Hogan.
up. It was straight up botch.
He got pinned. Like you can't even with Hogan and Sting, Bret Hart grabbed the ref, at least they tried to block. This was nothing. Like, what do you do?
I feel bad for Priest. I do, because he seems like the nicest guy when you see him in interviews.
Yes.
You know he's trying to work real hard. He's giving it his all.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's just not that guy. He's not the champ. He's just not.
They have 2 titles.
I think they're setting him up for a face run.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's
because
good.
if you look at him, he's like consistently saying things. Well, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
That gentleman's agreement is out the door. I'm going to give you a fair shot at the title. Those are stuff that a face does, not a heel. So
Absolutely.
I think they're beginning to set that up for a face run for him, and obviously for Rhea as well. Because Rhea's problem is she's a face in a heel faction. They do everything to try to make her a heel, and people just love her more and more. They gotta. It's time for her to make the move over.
She burnt a hole in Dominic Mysterio's face.
Oh, that was so
when
big.
she got back, like right under his chin. Look at me! Oh my god, that was good.
Did you see the Liv Morgan afterwards behind the curtain where she was like, and then she turns around, she's like,
so good too.
Like I caused this trouble. I
gotta say, I didn't see Liv as like a real good heel, like ever, but she's good. This is a very good version of that. So well done, Liv.
But I will say this, and I am happy to say it, that my favorite wrestler, well, not favorite, but one of my favorite wrestlers, Dirty Dom, finally beat that deadbeat dad of his.
Oh my god, that's funny.
He finally got a pinfall. Thanks,
That's
Liv.
right. He finally pinned him. And you see him celebrating with Liv because he was so happy. He finally beat his dad. But you know what? It was overdue. Because how many times have those two gone at it and Ray always comes out on top? It was time for Dom to come out on top.
No, it was good. Breaker and Zayn, it's funny. Sami Zayn, he keeps winning. I don't know if it's a good thing.
Did you see him at the press conference?
No, I gotta go back and watch the. I love the press conferences. You guys know that. I just haven't done it.
He, to your point, made a statement about how everybody doubts him. He said, actually, I don't know what I have to do to prove myself to you guys. What do I have to do to show you I can win? When he started going down that path, I wondered, I'm like, is he turning?
I don't know.
It almost kind of sounded like it.
This is the thing with Sammy. He beats Gunther.
Yeah.
And it was a weird way the way he beat Gunther. You know what I mean? And so that, and then he's fighting a Steiner, and you're like, I don't know. It's maybe no, because I'm really hoping that he goes back with the bloodline with Roman, because I think that would be killer TV.
Do you think? I think we're in agreement that it looks like it could be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title, because it looks like Ilya Dragunov could be involved in that match.
Possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the reason I'm asking is because if that's the case, does Braun Breaker have like 143rd, chance of winning?
That's good.
143 and 1/3% chance of winning.
We're looking at that Steiner math.
So good. I would still love to see Scott and Rick show up at the pay-per-view and do something. But of course, they're always worried about Scotty with a hot mic.
Yeah, you don't want to give that guy anything live. You never know what he's going to say.
See, most people have a 50-50 chance of winning. And I'm a genetic freak. So I have a 75% chance of winning. And then you look at a triple threat match, you have a 33% chance. But then you add my 75% and the 33%. Oh.
He's so good.
And then he gets into he's got 143 and a 1/3% chance of winning, or whatever the number was.
Oh,
I've heard somebody say this before. He is the best worst interview ever.
Yes.
Best worst one. It's like you cannot turn your head when he's on TV with a microphone in his hand.
Oh, it's so good.
He came out in WCW one time with duct tape on his mouth saying censored, with a tiger on a leash.
Yes, I remember.
Tremendous.
How about Minji?
One of my favorite ones was when he was talking about Samoa Joe and TNA.
That's the math one.
That's the math one, isn't it?
No, not just the math one. There were several. And he turns around and, or they ask him about Samoa Joe. And he's like, the only chance that he would have of beating me is if I was smothered in Twinkies.
Oh my god!
Or it was something along those lines. That was the only way that he said.
That's fantastic.
Let's see what else. The women's ladder match. I mean, I need to go back and watch.
Go back and watch that.
Why? I wanted Chelsea Green. What is it about Stratton? Why do you guys know? Because I'm kind of clueless.
She's athletic as all can be. She's knows how to play that character and cut that promo. She's very. They like the look. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but Chelsea Green she's worked so hard on the independents and she's over right now.
I said this to Bob. Give her time.
How much more time? How much more time?
Just wait, because now she's going to get the fans behind her.
And
this is going to start snowballing now.
Yeah. In all fairness to Chelsea Green, I saw an interview with her, and this was, a real interview, not a, kayfabe interview. And she had flat out said, look, I really don't care about winning, because a lot of people in this business are like, oh, when are they going to allow me to win? When are they going to put the title on me? She's like, I really don't care. She says, because my goal with this is to develop my character. And if my character gets a reaction out of you, whether it makes you laugh, it annoys you, whatever, she's like, then I feel like I've done my job.
Props.
Okay.
Props to her.
But yeah,
Lord knows her and her husband don't need to worry about money with all the action figures that are wrapped up still. That they have.
Oh, speaking of money, she turned around on her social media, and it's got a picture of her looking up at the case, and she says, I already have enough money. I don't need any from that briefcase.
That's awesome. That's
Well,
And
awesome.
she was hilarious on her social media. She was like, "God knows if I'll ever walk again." And then they posted a video of a different angle from her falling off the ladder, and she's like, "That should have been illegal."
That's funny.
She's great.
She's funny, man. She's
She
really,
really
great.
is.
Did you guys hear about? So I heard about the I guess the Cody the tag match.
Yeah.
That I saw the part with Fatu and Orton, and Orton hits him with the DDT, and Fatu stands up. Apparently, Orton didn't think he was going to do that.
Oh. Huh.
Now, I don't know how much of that is real, but apparently Orton was quite surprised.
It could be.
Okay. Well,
So
the problem is Jacob Fatu doesn't look like the type of guy you want to yell at.
no, but I would love to see Jacob Fatu versus Orton though.
Oh, that would be that's money.
Sick.
Yeah.
Because Orton doesn't forget.
No, he does not.
Fatu, went in and attacked Orton. So I think that could be cool. It's funny. The minute how I saw that Solo beat Cody, I said, Derek, don't you remember in college, every Monday night, we said whoever got the upper hand the week before the pay-per-view, what happened? They were losing.
Exactly. They would
And
lose.
this is exactly what it is, Bob. That at SummerSlam, he's going to get that big match, I think, unless The Rock shows up, gets in there.
No. Rock's not coming back till Mania season. He's not doing his. I thought that could be the SummerSlam match with Cody and Rocky, but now it's pretty clear that Rock's showing up in Mania.
Okay.
Yeah, Rock's got to promote that new Santa Claus movie that he's in.
Oh, dear Lord.
For that. I just saw that preview for that.
Yeah, he's like Santa Claus's bodyguard, and Santa Claus is played by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Crap, mega crap.
J.K. Simmons. Oh, God.
Geez, I hope it's not crap, and mega crap, J.K.
You know what? I think the trailer looks dumb, but it might be fun dumb. I mean,
that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, they may be going for fun dumb. And if you're going for fun dumb, I can be down.
Yeah.
I can be down for that.
Kind of reminded me of Last Action Hero a little bit. Is that weird? With Schwarzenegger?
Nah.
No, that's not weird.
A little bit of that, a little bit of, what was the Jingle All the Way? Too, maybe a little bit? I don't know.
Maybe a little.
Bobby's all-time favorite movie, Santa with Muscles?
Heck yeah.
By the way, totally random, but we can go random on the show. We don't care. What was I watching last night? Police Academy 2.
Tremendous.
And the part with Mauser and the hand stuck to his hair. And what's his name with the barking? And, Lou, no, Lou. Lou, no.
What was his name? Jones. That was Jones.
Yes.
Yeah. Jones is fantastic.
My God. And Tackleberry. And it's probably my least favorite Police Academy, but I
like in the third one where they're at the bar and they put the tape on Mauser's eyes, and then he rips it off and the eyebrows are gone. He turns around, he looks in the mirror, and he's like, "I got no eyebrows. Where are my eyebrows?" And Proctor grabs the tape and he's like, "They're right here, sir."
Malcolm's the best.
And then you see him drawing the eyebrows onto him, and he shows it to
I like it.
the mirror, and he's like, "What do you think?" "I think I like it."
I love when Proctor's eating the shrimp in the third one, and she goes, "Oh, I love a man who can eat shrimp," and he just starts laughing.
What was it?
Taco salsa everywhere.
What was when Mauser he showed his hands and he had the hair on it? Wasn't
The
there
second one? I just saw that last night. Yes.
Does anybody have an explanation for this? And Mahoney goes, "I do, sir. If you keep doing that, you could go blind."
Yes.
Oh wow!
Oh God!
Thank you, Gutenberg.
I forget. I mean, the first one's obviously the best, and then usually people say the fourth one.
Oh, Citizens on Patrol.
I
It's
think
fun.
I like the third one better.
I like that one scene where what's her name? The female trainer O'Hara. It was O'Hara.
Callahan.
What is it? Callahan. Callahan. Okay, so where she's in the pool.
Oh yeah.
She turns around and she gets up and she's like, "Who's gonna come in?" And everybody, they all come right into the pool.
Well, it's funny because in the first one she was a very serious character.
Yeah.
And then as the series progressed, and she became one of them almost, and you see her just swimming away.
Yeah.
Such a good God. That was
She wasn't hard on the eyes. That's for sure.
I also like the 5th one in Miami. A lot of people don't like that one.
I kind of lost interest in him after Mahoney left.
I thought the 5th
Well,
one
that was about 4 deep, to be fair.
Yeah.
Mission to Moscow was not good.
No, that's not necessary. We were done probably after
that one. I've seen maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Never play it. They never play it. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it Cody versus Rock at Mania, or is it Roman versus Rock at Mania?
Roman versus Rock.
You think so?
I think it's going to be Cody versus Rock because they already set that up by saying that what was it, the Raw after WrestleMania when Rock came out and he was like, your story with Roman is over. He says, but ours is just beginning.
They did set it up like that.
I thought that was SummerSlam. That's why.
A lot of people, I think, did, but we should have known better.
But I think they're going to build it up towards Mania because you don't have a match with the final boss at a weaker pay-per-view. Now, maybe you could do it at the Rumble or something like that, but I do think that if you don't have Rock and Cody, you got to have Rock and Roman.
Oh, for sure.
Well, if you have Roman and Cody, I mean, not Roman and Cody, Roman and Cody and Rock, who's Roman fighting?
Solo.
The end of the bloodline feud right there.
That's not big though for Roman.
No, I think that Roman and Rock is a strong possibility, but it's going to depend on whether they do Rock and Cody before at one of the pay-per-views before or PLEs before. If they do, then I think you have Roman and Rock as the main event for. I'd even see it on night 2. It doesn't matter if Cody is the champ because it's just the name Roman Reigns and The Rock. I mean, that's huge.
That is, I mean, both are entirely feasible. The only reason I'm thinking it may actually be Rock and Roman, you'll notice on SmackDown there's been a couple of times of how Solo has said something along the lines of a plan. And he, and then Paul Heyman said something along the lines of who's we.
Yeah.
So these little things where I could easily see Rock coming into the picture and saying, "This is my bloodline."
What about maybe
you lost? You left it to me to be responsible for it.
What about it? Survivor Series? You could have War Games, and you have the two bloodlines going at each other, and then that's when The Rock shows up and shows his alliance with Solo, and then you set it up that no, this is my bloodline. I'm the final boss.
Really possible. That's what I mean. Everybody's rooting for that right now.
Derek, did you see my text the other day? How I said, imagine if, and it could be at Survivor Series, if you had ECW originals getting revenge for Paul Heyman against the Bloodline. No,
I ain't happening.
We're done with that. We're done. Paul has his tribal chief. He needs to get back to being the wise man, find his chief, give him his necklace, and run accordingly.
So
here's a question.
Baby face with Roman now.
Here's a question.
This is what I think. Or go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when Roman makes his return and he gets that huge pop, does Heyman come out with him? Or is this going to be a later moment that Heyman comes out?
He's got to come out with him.
See, I think he does too.
Yeah, he's got to.
I think he has to.
Yeah, he got powerbound through a table by those guys.
Yeah, because I was thinking they could do it one or two ways. Either he comes out with him, or Roman comes out and spears him or whatever. And then as he's leaving the ring, maybe Paul Heyman meets him at the ramp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe you could do it that way. But I do think he comes out with him.
So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you guys everything right now. Doesn't Solo have the thing around his neck?
Yes, he does right now.
I think whenever we see Reigns come back, he'll attack him and take it off his neck, or have Heyman take it off his neck, and Heyman will put it back on Reigns' neck. And as far as WrestleMania goes, I think it's a no-brainer, Rock versus Reigns, unless something happens with the fans. And I don't know, we all know Royal Rumble, anything can change on any given night, right?
Yeah,
All
but
of you
this
agree
one,
with
this
that?
one's too money. This one's too major.
I just don't know, because I like what you guys said, what Derek said, Gunther versus Cena. But now I don't know where to put Cody.
Orton.
Yeah, you could by that point. I do think you have to finish Cody's storyline with the bloodline beforehand, and that would mean he would need to fight Rock.
Yeah, he's going to have to fight Rock
Mania.
and beat him.
Yeah, probably at the Rumble.
Probably there.
It's got to be.
And then that way, actually, that would work out pretty well, because then Rock could cost. I mean, Roman could cost Rock ultimately.
There you go.
And
Or
so now
Rock wins the title. Oh God, what if Rock?
no,
wins?
he's not. No,
And then
I don't think he is.
Rock versus Roman for the title at Mania. Oh Jesus. Oh.
Then that's when Orton could come in as the Viper we all know him to be, drop him with an RKO, and say, "I can't believe that this little punk kid I used to watch is holding that belt, and I've had to sit along his side and watch him raise that thing up when it should have been mine all along."
Mania's in Vegas next year.
Yeah, that's big.
What were you gonna say, Bob?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I think you said you had to say something.
That should also be where CM Punk faces Seth Rollins too.
I agree.
I agree with that.
It has to happen.
Yeah, that
I
has
just
to
think
happen.
about Cody.
Because I think you finished the Drew and Punk storyline before then,
You got to
and then
finish
you finished the Rollins Punk one at
Yeah.
Mania.
I don't know, Cody versus Uncle Howdy.
No.
Gets big.
No, Uncle Howdy has got to be something much different than that. I almost thought that the Wyatt Six should face the Bloodline at WrestleMania.
Well, we know about Elimination Chamber when the Wyatt family versus the.
I remember that.
How insane that was! So I totally agree with that.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, because the way that I would imagine that is, I thought about this. I don't know if it's going to work out, but what if KO and Sammy, like I said, turn heel and they win the tag belts? And then you have Jimmy come back with Jay and you flip the script and now they're fighting each other again.
No,
that could be interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if we need that again.
Yes, you do. They had an amazing match.
No, I know they did. They did. I'm just trying to think of new people.
But then here's the fun part with that is now Roman doesn't have his family around. So now he's got no backup. And if it's Rock and the Bloodline and the Rock yelling at him, there's no family to back you up now. You've got nobody. It's us versus you. Who's going to come out and save you? And then that's when and then the Wyatts show up. And Roman looks at him like, I have no idea why they're here right now. I did not ask for this help.
Yeah.
Could be that. That could be fun. Just
saying.
saying.
Next WrestleMania will be interesting. I
it
still
will be.
Rock and Reigns. As of right now, that's what I would. I'm sure they have that penciled in.
We don't know.
It's hard to know. It really is, because
we got to wait.
They already set up Cody and Rock, so it's just a question if that's going to be before Mania, and they really want to go with Roman and Rock, which I think they still want to do.
Yeah,
I just don't know if they're planning on that now, or if it's just interesting to see where they're going to go with this.
If you guys had asked me the night after Mania when we had the stare down with Rock and Cody and said, Josh, when is this happening? 99% of me thought SummerSlam.
Yeah, me too.
Because I was thinking Rock and Reigns at Mania.
I thought the same thing, but it did not happen.
This solo thing has thrown me for a wrench, and the only other thing I can think of is the Rumble, unless, I don't know, Elimination Chambers in Miami, for The Rock, or in, one of where they, they've been doing that lately. Think about it. 2 years ago, Elimination Chamber at Montreal for Sammy. Last year, Australia.
Yeah,
Rio.
that's
So I don't know, maybe.
Didn't
But
they? Have they announced where the Rumble is this year? I mean, next year. I'm sorry.
I
Yes.
think so, but
Have
I
they?
don't remember.
Shoot. And
Hold
it's
on,
like a week-long thing, too.
A week-long thing?
Indianapolis.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Lucas
Thank
Oil.
you,
Yep.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Because of
Thank
McAfee.
you, Pat
But it's like
McAfee.
a whole week-long thing, right? Or it's something weird.
How are they going to make it a week long?
I don't know. It was something. Bob, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Well, I
wasn't
think
it?
it's like a week long of festivities. That doesn't mean that it's a
No.
week long event.
No, but it was something at Lucas Oil. Like Raw was going to be there. SmackDown, maybe. I don't know.
So that's a week long of festivities. It's not a week long Royal Rumble.
But I thought, I don't know. That'd
I
be
mean,
fun.
You're reading too much into it, Josh.
How about a week-long Royal Rumble? That'd be kind of funny.
No, we don't need any of that. They've already tried to do that in Saudi Arabia, but they put 50 guys in it. That was way too much. No,
That's
thank
like
you.
Titus O'Neil slip through the
Yes,
Titus
he sure
World
did.
slide.
That was probably the biggest moment of that whole night, actually.
No. All right, guys. Anything else?
No.
Nope. Nothing about the Acolyte being the greatest show ever, and
we covered that.
You know. All right. All right. So why don't we wrap up? Let's talk about some social media. Mr. Bobo, where can we find you?
You can find me over on YouTube at Was It Good at Bob Loves Movies. You can also find me on Criticless and X. We'll have all of our social medias in the description below, so come check it out.
All right. And Derico, where can we find you?
After I finish yelling at the Acolyte with you, I'm going to have a heart attack. Then you can find me at the Senior Center Recovering over on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Very good. And you can find me on, excuse me, Facebook and Instagram. I'm the Family Man of the Valley. I'm a realtor here in Southern California. You can also find me on LinkedIn and TikTok. All right, gentlemen, very good show tonight. Join us next week. Hopefully we have a nice little guest. We'll, get that confirmed at a later date. And we hope you guys have a great weekend, and everybody talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Everybody.
Good night, gentlemen.
Bye, guys.